So, Oden. Probably the worst character in all of One Piece. Here's why. So let's start off with this. Oden, he is very clearly designed to be the best character ever in One Piece. He basically is Hercules. He did all the Hercules stuff. He's an overhyped failure, and he was hyped for years. Actually, I'm gonna put this down somewhere before I actually hurt myself. He failed to stop Kaido's takeover of Wano. He failed to even slow it down. He failed to save his family, and instead went gallivanting across the world despite the fact he had responsibilities elsewhere. And yeah, I know Toki was all, oh, don't go back to Wano, Oden, keep on adventuring. But who cares what she wants? She's not even from this time period. Also, he is the prince of Wano. He's the prince of a nation. He should have gone back, especially when he knew that there was something wrong. And it was very wrong. Oden is super gullible, despite technically being one of the smartest characters we've had in One Piece. Orochi tricked him twice. Oden made a deal with Orochi to dance to save 100 people from kidnapping or something, and he did. He danced naked. But only once a week. He had 6 days that he wasn't dancing naked in the street, and he did nothing. So, best case scenario, he danced for 2 years, that's 10,400 people he saved. And yet, did nothing else. So how many people died in Wano while he saved maybe a couple hundred people a day? How many other people died of starvation, outright murder, exhaustion in the factories, which Kaido was building at the same time, and Oden just sat there and danced.
Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
We don't know, I don't recall if we know the full scope of the deal, but basically, from what I recall, it was just dance in the street, you save some people. Oden could have told the scabbards about the entire situation, and they could go out and save people from Kaido and Orochi. They could tear down the factories that Kaido was building. Those are strong fighters. They could have done so much damage while Oden was doing his part. Which in itself would have been stupid anyway. It was stupid. But he didn't. He told no one, and so literally everyone in the nation began to hate him or look at him as if he was a fool, which did more damage than good. And in the end, years later, he ended up doing the same thing he should have done the first night. He attacked Orochi and Kaido with the scabbards. He should have done that the first night he got back and saw that wound on his wife's leg. They should have all gone with him, but they didn't. He could have rallied the entire nation, running through Wano, yelling, I'm back, and rallying hundreds, if not thousands of samurai to come follow him to the battle. Because he had that pull. That pull he lost years later after dancing. He could have rallied every single person in the nation because everyone loved him. But he didn't. He decided to not. I mean, that's a long run. He could have thought of some of this stuff. But no, he didn't because he's an idiot.
Why are you crying?
Because I'm stupid!
Well, that's no reason to cry. One cries because one is sad. For example, I cry because others are stupid and it makes me sad.
Or he could have been patient. He could have stopped halfway. He had all that time running to the capital to think about what to do. But no, he said to not. He could have stopped and said, okay, stop. Gotta think about this. Let's send word to Whitebeard. Let's send word to Roger. Or let's send word to Zoe. Gather some forces and then take him on. He has pull. Very few people, comparatively to who died later, have died yet. Very few have died. And none of them, at this point, were technically his fault. Personally, I'm still upset that he decided to leave and abandon his kingdom without assigning a proper successor if something was happening to his father before he got... He's a warrior. He knows the value of strength. He knows the value of allies. That's the pirate crew. That's the entire point. I mean, we know that Marco and Ace managed to get into Wano, and Whitebeard got there by accident, so I don't think it'd be a big deal for them to get up the waterfall again. It wouldn't have been hard for Whitebeard, Roger, Marco, or Ace to show up. Okay, if Ace wasn't around by then. That's not the point. Hell, he could have gone to the world government for help. I mean, the world government really wants Wano. He could have, if he really needed to have help to save people, he could have gone to world government. That would have saved more people. Imagine 3 admirals, Sengoku, Garp, all showing up. It would have been over before it started. Kaido would have run away. I do fully believe that. He didn't think about that because he was stupid. He didn't think about anything except fighting the entire run. It's a long run. Also, there's no convincing argument in the world that you can say to tell me that Oden didn't know who Kaido was. He was on Whitebeard's crew. He was on Roger's crew. They mentioned Kaido. They knew Kaido. He was up and coming. There's no reason for him not to have known.
Through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and desolation of war. You are unworthy of these realms, unworthy of your title. You're unworthy of the loved ones you have betrayed.
But that's just Oden. Some of the things I can't blame Oden for, like the people of Wano being freaking idiots. Let's go with that. Freaking idiots. So the former shogun of Wano, Oden's father, Kozuki Oden's father, I don't care about his name enough to remember it, was still alive when Orochi took over. Why didn't he do anything? Oh, they had him trapped in prison. But he got out and did nothing. He just watched his people starve and die. He watched people starve and die. We know this to be a true fact. He saw them poison themselves in the river. He did nothing.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Also, Wano and their stupid samurai honor. A stomach gargling is a sign of weakness. Your stupid honor gets more people killed than not. Like, Tama almost got her killed because your stupid honor. Stupid. The people of Wano who Oden saved by dancing naked in the street. They just forget they were kidnapped? Did they not hear his voice? They were in the room, or in an adjacent room, when Oden arrived. Did they overhear nothing? People died in the street every day in Wano. No one cared. Not only are the people of Wano stupid, they are heartless. Absolutely heartless. In the capital, the flower capital, everyone is fine. Right? These are the good guys, right? The people sending up their little floaty lantern things at the very end of the arc. It's because they're the good guys. They're the victims. They're the privileged class in Wano. People who survived were doing whatever it could to stay in the capital where it was profitable. People outside, they didn't have that luxury. They had to eat smiles, be cursed. Also, when you see Oden, he's condemned to death by boiling. Oden basically was globally loved before his dancing. But they hated him. He sat there holding up people, boiling. They never questioned it. They're like, oh, I thought we'd be dead already. I don't care who was boiling. Let's say we put anyone else in that situation. At the very least, if they were holding up 9 people on a piece of wood, getting boiled alive, you go, that's kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie, that's really impressive. You wouldn't go, is he dead yet? They must have actively hated him to have such disregard for his life and what he was doing. No one questioned it. At worst, he was a crazy lunatic who danced naked in the street. At best, he was a not globally. He was loved by the entire nation. He was a former leader. He was the greatest warrior to ever come out of that nation and was boiling alive. Neither of those would get that same reaction, or should have got that reaction. These aren't how people act. They wanted him dead. The people of Wano wanted Oden dead. Kind of stupid considering that all the death going on around them. These aren't people. These are absolute psychopaths. Every one of them. The people of Wano let their enslavement happen and did nothing to fight back. Wano was touted as a nation of great warriors. We've seen one. Maybe the others if you want to really include the scabbards in that. We've seen 10 at most. Ryuma doesn't count. Where are these warriors that were so as a force, that were so feared? that the random pirates could take him on.
I can't see what this is about. Where the fuck is everyone?
They were enslaved, and they let their enslavement happen. One of Lex Luthor's major reasons, or at least a reason he has given in the past, for not liking Superman is the fact that he thinks that Superman is going to basically take the teeth from humanity. They'll be so reliant on him, they won't be able to save themselves. That's what's happened in Wano, except Odin was never there. They just didn't have teeth. When people started dying, they should have known that this was not a good thing. They should have revolted. Remember Alabasta and how quickly that went from calm to revolution? But you have Orochi and Kaido openly being evil. No one cared. As someone from the United States, I'm well aware of Vietnam, right? I've seen it in movies. I know not a whole lot about it, but I know something about it. Guerrilla warfare, highly effective, but only effective because that was where the Vietnam people lived. They lived there, so they knew its ins and outs. Same thing could have applied here. But no one fought back. Really, there was only one person who actually did stuff to fight. And what did they do? They raided villages of common people. True heroes, that is. There is also Denjiro, or Kyoshiro, or whatever you want to call him, and how he stole money from the people of the Flower Capital to give to the people of Ebisu Town, which was then stolen by the Fat Man. So really, that helped no one, but got a lot of people kicked out of the Flower Capital and into Ebisu Town. So really all Kyoshiro or Denjiro did was cause more people to die by being kicked out of the Flower Capital and put into Ebisu Town. So there's that as well. But you also need to remember, Kaido at his strongest only had a force of 30,000. How many more people are there in Wano than that? Alabasta had a population of 10 million. Even 1% of that number would massively threaten Kaido and Orochi. I mean, that era of Japanese history that Wano is pulling from, they had like 24 million, I think. Kaido and Orochi ruled over a nation with an iron fist that is 800 times the size of the army they possess. And they had weapons before they got taken away for some reason. Why would the samurai let them take away with their weapons? Still stuck on that. If someone tries to take your weapon, they want to do something to you. If someone is going to take your weapon, your means of self-defense, you have to ask, why? What do you plan on doing to me that you don't want me to stop you? What do you plan on doing if you don't want me to save myself? What do you plan on doing to my family that you don't want me to save them? But no, these samurai just gave up their weapons. Maybe a few fought back and got slaughtered pretty quickly. But the population as a whole is freaking stupid. It's not even just a matter of self-defense. It's the samurai's entire trade. Imagine taking library books away from a librarian, a pen away from a writer, a fire hose away from a firefighter. It is their trade, and there was minimal backlash. It's one of the dumbest things I've seen in all of fiction. No one fought back. They just let them take their swords. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid thing. It gives me a headache. These people are so stupid. Guys, I probably ranted far too long about this. Probably far too long. Yeah, I think next time I'll talk about Buggy and why I hate Buggy. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Remember to stay spectacular. Jojo, out. Bye-bye.
You have failed this city.